Hello, hello. Oh my. It's quite hard to. This is the English version of the video I did a couple of days ago in French. As I said, it's quite difficult to come to speak after 4 months of silence. A lot of things did happen, and I needed to have time for myself. Really, I could not have the energy to come, and so many things were going on. I thought when I left that I would do some live from where I will be, in Thailand and in Corsica, but it was not possible. I was too busy, not really like vacation busy, but really busy, organizing and managing things with the family, and it was nice actually. I had a very, very nice time, and I had in fact I thought, it's really weird because I did not travel for 3 years. Me with an avid traveler, always traveling, and I stay at home for 3 years. And I was in a way I had a little bit of apprehension of this trip so far away with the situation, and I was wondering how this would be. And in fact, I must say that everything has been very smoothly. Everything has been like so easy, security, things flowing, no waiting line. I was really impressed. I had the feeling it was less people in the airports. I found that it was a kind of peace all around, so maybe it was my peace that I was projecting around. But it was quite pleasant. The only thing is that the shock has been when I quit home, that my friend neighbor brought me to the airport at Palm Springs. That is a tiny airport, tiny, very beautiful airport. And when I arrived at the airport, with all the people and movement and in all the direction, I was like drunk. I was like if I was not feeling, unsure. It was really weird. And it took me a time to be, acclimated to it. I needed to pause and to sit, and I was really feeling very strange. But after it has been all the trips has been quite well. And it was long trips because to go in France, as I had a stop from Palm Springs to Dallas and Dallas to Paris, I had 17 hours of trip. It was not direct flight. And after I had 2 days after, so I arrived in Paris, and 2 days after I left for Thailand. So it's again like 15 or 16 hours trip or something like that, because we had also a stop in Bangkok. So it has been, in fact, I did 4 very long trips in 1 month and a half. And I realized that, in fact, I'm human like everybody else. I've been very affected physically and emotionally by all the experiences I lived. Very good experiences, and some less good, quite very painful and emotionally draining. So all this together, it was one intensity in one pole and the same imbalance on the other pole. So I was in a way shaken. I've been really shaken. And when I came back, I was thinking of a lot of people who contacted me during these years because I was really down. When I came back, I was without any force. I stayed 2 weeks in my bed. I knew I was not sick. This is something I wanted to speak about, the difference between when you are sick and when you don't feel good. And also, how it is your mindset when you are in that state. Some people who are always under fears would fear to have this sickness or this sickness or this sickness. That is not my case. But I was wondering what is going on, even if I knew a little bit what is going on, because me, not traveling for 3 years, not seeing all these, a lot of people, not being in touch with the world, suddenly I'm immersed in all this, with all the changes and all the events that happened in 3 years. So I was not realizing how much things changed, because I had the feeling it was not being here. It was like I knew about what is going on, the news here that we have, parallel news that we have, not the mainstream media, because I don't watch TV. But with all this, I had the feeling in a way that nothing was changing, at least for me. I was not realizing that in fact a lot of things changed for me, and that my physical body had to follow, because in my mind a lot of things has changed in 3 years. And what was interesting, because I had always in mind when I was feeling bad, and I was remembering how it is when we feel good, when I feel good. But I had always in mind looking the time we were, and it was on Easter time. So for me, I spoke about this in some video, Easter, about the 3 days, and I spoke about that, how when we are in a difficult time, we have to count 3 days from crucifixion to resurrection. So I had this in mind. I was not even thinking about it, because I was really without at all energy, totally weak. I was lying in my bed. Luck, my neighbor friend who came to pick me up at the airport when I came back, she filled my fridge with food, and she bought me any kind of good stuff, goodies and fruits and veggies, and I had everything. And she felt that I had to be alone. So, and she felt also that I was not doing very well. But she also knew that if I was not doing if I was doing very, very bad, I will contact her. So I was in this state where my body was so sore. It was not like a flu. I had no fever at all. I had no headache. But I had this body so stiff and so sore that I contacted my friends, bioenergeticians like Bernard and Natalie. I had session with them. The amazing thing is that I thought my energetic field will be totally off-centered, but not at all. Bernard tested, and my energetic field was really centered. So he said, you can face this. And I knew my body can face that, but how long this gonna last? This was the thing. And for me, when I have the flu, it's like 2-3 days. It's like the 3 days I spoke about before. It's that. I embrace the flu. I'm ready to take it. I don't resist. I take care of myself. I enhance them with the fever, but I had no fever, so I could not. I tried to take hot bath with Epsom salt and things, but I was really miserable. So my friend also, Natalie, we did some video with Natalie. We did a session with her, and she told me, because when I came back, I arrived the evening, and when I arrived the evening, it was apocalypse in Palm Springs. It was a sand, wind, storm like I never saw. And by night at 8:30 in the evening. And the day after, so I went straight to bed, and the day after I was really not feeling good, and I looked outside and I was like, I want to go away from this place that I loved so much. I could not stand here anymore. I was suffocating. I wanted to throw away everything. It was really a weird feeling. So when I had 1 week after, when I was still feeling very bad, I had the session with Natalie. Natalie told me, the first word that she told me was making so much sense. She said, yeah, this valley now, it became the valley of death. And it was really that. But she said to me, it's because it's the death of a cycle inside of you. And this alerted me. I know about symbol and what, you know, my body is showing. I spoke a lot about this in my video. But when I was in this feeling bad, like everybody can feel bad, and not relying about all the things that I can rely normally, observing and connecting dots. I was unable to do that because I had absolutely no energy. So Natalie helped me to reconnect the dot, to make the links in between what was going on, my state inside, and what I was seeing outside, what I was projecting of my bad being, my bad feeling inside. I was projecting that outside, and me, I was feeling so down and like death inside. I was projecting outside, this is dead, I live in a dead place, what I'm doing here. And Natalie put the right word on that, because I was not even able to put the words. But the only thing I knew is that I wanted to escape from here. This is the only thing was, I cannot stay here anymore, I have to go away. But at that time, I was still not able to connect the dot. That came later when I started to recover after 2 weeks. The universe is very well done. I had one of my followers who saw me selling kimonos some months ago when I left Malibu. And she sent me a message and asked me if I had some kimono for sale left. And I say yes. But I say, I have so many. I didn't want to go in details, but I said, I have so many things to do. I can see this next week, hoping, I will feel better, because I had absolutely no energy to go in the storage room, look for the box of the kimono, and I proposed her to do a private video to show them to her. I have no energy. So I waited some days, and when she told me that, I said, yeah, I have to move on. I have to do things, and I have some shawls to send. So I was pulling myself in my car to go at the post office, seated at the post office. As soon as I arrived, I was really feeling bad, and going back home. And what a miracle happened. The baby Oscar that I was not seeing since I came back, because he was not seeing me for almost 2 months, 1 month and a half, one day he shows up. And he was a little bit shy. He knew it was me, but he's a wild animal. So finally he came, and he came every day. And we were like close again, and I could speak to him, and this brought me up. The love relation with this little being, this little creature, really helped me to go up, to recover taste, happiness, to have joy, to forget for a while when I was with him about my condition. And started to give me taste for life again. And it was because it's about beauty. It's the beauty of the relationship, but it's the beauty of the animal, this wild animal who came toward me. And he was calling me when I was inside in my bed, and he was calling me and to have this treat, and he was waiting in front of the door like he was usually doing, I see someone saying, do you have the virus? It's not a virus. This is something I want to be really clear about that. We have to understand that our bodies are working properly. It's not a question of virus or anything like that. All the experiences I lived, very strong spiritual experiences, emotional experiences for 1 month and a half, in the high and in the lows as well. In the high, it was the amazing discovery in 3 years that I have not seen my family and I have not seen my son, to see what he achieved in 3 years. What has been done in 3 years, I've been very, very impressed in the positive way. In the difficult way was when I arrived in Corsica. It was so in Thailand. It was not vacation. I was happy to be able to help my son in, founding furnitures and doing for interior design and all that. All my 3 weeks in Thailand were mostly about that. But it was really fantastic because he was happy and I was happy also to bring, to create with him, to develop. And I was so impressed about what he did that it was like, wow, it's a side of him that I didn't know. So this was really amazing. But it was draining because I had no time really to rest. We were going all around the island by car and looking for every kind of thing, dishes and furnitures and sofa and interior design pieces, sculpture. It was fantastic. Lamps, all that. So it was really nice. And when I came back in Corsica, the first thing I wanted to do was to go to see my aunt in the nursing home, because she was there since many years, and with the COVID, it was very hard to go. The sanitary crisis, it was very hard to go. So I did not travel for 3 years. So I have not seen her for 3 years. So I went to see her, and it has been quite a shock because I knew she was declining, but the first time she did not recognize me, and a lot of things did happen, and it was like very draining because I was feeling powerless. And to see her like that, knowing how she was very dynamic, active, it was not the same person than the one I knew. Totally different physically, totally different person. So going there almost every day, I was giving her, raspberry because it was something she could eat easily, and we had our moment, but she was sleeping all the time. I had the feeling she was already gone, and because she was always asleep, always sleeping, and maybe it was a way to escape our condition, because on the last day I was there, she told me that it was hard for her to see herself like that. And I didn't know what even to tell her. It was very, very hard. And I felt she was feeling it was the end, because she said, why, I would love that you take this or you take this. She didn't have a lot of belongings there, but she wanted me to take some object. And I did, because I felt she was happy about that. And the last day, I took her in my arms, and she said that she loved me. I said I loved her. And she said, oh, you go away? I said, yes, I come back for summer. And deep inside, I knew somewhere that I had a kind of message about that. One day I went to visit her, and in the hallway, far away, close to her room, I found someone on the floor. So I went to look for the healthcare assistants and told them there is something there. So I don't know if the person was dead or not, but for me it was like a sign that this was what's going to happen, because it was close to the previous room of my aunt. And so I was quite prepared by that. And time passed. When I came back, I started to feel better. I finally pulled the kimonos. I saw them and I said, wow, they are so beautiful. Maybe I can do some pictures here that I never did before with them. And I started to do that. I pushed myself. I did also some pictures before the first day I was there, pushing myself. I was out of breath, going just down the little slope there. But I wanted to move. I wanted to don't stay in that state of being so, without moving. So I did that. And when I started to do the pictures, mostly the one with the kimonos, and I found this so beautiful. I must say that the beauty, and it's not about my beauty, it's about the beauty, because when I shoot these pictures, for me, it's more the landscape than myself, even if it's me, because I show also my scarf collection. But creating beauty really helped me to recover my energy. And this is something, because people often ask me, how do you do when you are down and to reconnect and to, in fact, it's by creating beauty. At my way, maybe it's not the beauty that, others can appreciate, but at my way, I create beauty, beautiful image, beautiful, movement and things, and the way the shawls are falling, the kimono are moving, and for me it's beauty, like the beauty being with my little baby, Oscar, of the beauty of the relationship, that really gave me back energy, gave me back desire to live, to the taste of life again. And so I realized after that, putting all things together, that in fact, yes, I changed also a lot. I changed, and it's like I forgot that some years ago, like maybe 5-6 years ago, when I was still in Malibu, I was feeling that I would leave Malibu and I would leave the US when I will be 67, 70. I knew it. So last year when I had to move, it's a funny thing is that also it was also on Easter weekend. I had the news that my landlord sold the house and I had to move, and she was quite sad and embarrassed to tell me about that, because she felt that I will be really, in trouble and not happy, because I love that place. She knew it. But no, when she told me the Monday, Easter Monday, that the house was sold, I said, wow, this is great. Because for me, it was like the universe that I let do was pushing me to go away from Malibu, that I felt since 1 year I had to go. So it has been quite dense when I moved here, because difference of climate and a lot of things to put this together. And it's for that, when I came back and I was in that mindset and, don't liking here anymore, I was like very surprised, but it was really overwhelming. But I was still not able to connect the dot. So Easter, it's from crucifixion to resurrection. And I was crucified on that weekend. I was really, really down. And I had this in mind somewhere. And I was like connecting to how it is when I feel good, to the memory of that also. Plus my friends helping me with the session. And finally I started to see like an evidence. Yes, it's the end of a cycle of my life. And it's not sad. And my aunt going away was also showing the end of a cycle of my life. And my aunt was my godmother. I was closest to my aunt than to my mother in a way. So it was like, now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. You are the last one of the chain, and now it's your turn. And how do you gonna do this last cycle of your life? And it was all about that. And I say, okay, now I understand. For me, I saw death around me. Like when I was menopause, I had this idea of death because it was the end of a cycle. It was the end of the cycle, and after I got back my energy. I was really down when I was menopause, and after I got back my energy, even stronger than before. And I have the feeling now it's exactly the same thing. Now that I realize that all this state of being I was because it was a transformation, a metamorphose of my deep being. New decision, new engagement, new things very strong. I don't want that. I want this to be ended. I want this to be accomplished. And it was like going so fast. And suddenly, I renewed. I had also messages coming. I was seeing, I was in touch with my son, and I say, I think I want to leave from here. I think I want to go in Thailand. Because when I arrived in Thailand, I said to my son, this is not for me. And 3 weeks after, I told him, you know what? Thailand gave me the desire to be free of everything and start again. So I renew with that inside of me, and I was reconnecting with that inside of me. And I told my son, you know what? I looked online and I think I'm going to buy a small house in Thailand. Because we had a project to do something together, we still have one. But after, when I was there, I visited a house close to his in renovation, and I felt very good in this house. And I told him, why we don't take it together as an investment, and like this we can rent it after. And I spoke with the contractor, and very amazing people. They are working very, very well. It's a French entrepreneur, French contractor there, and they do an amazing work. My son is working with them, so I saw what they do, and I saw that house, and I told him, if we take this house, I would love to have it done like that. Is it possible? He said, yeah, sure, we can do this. So this really, I told my son, yeah, maybe we take it. And finally, when I arrived here and I was so down, Thailand was even far away from my mind because I was not even able to think about that. But slowly recovering, I started to have visions coming back from places there and from the house. And I said, okay, I'm going to go online and look for a house for sale, because this one was a little bit more expensive than what I wanted to put in. And I found a beautiful little house, 1 bedroom, really nice, not too expensive, very affordable for me. I was happy. My son was going back in Thailand. I said, please go and check this house. I would love to buy this house. New, nobody lived before, nice view, clean, the layout that I love. I was excited about that. I contacted the agent and he said, yeah, when your son is coming, we can go and visit and all that. So I was advanced on that. My son arrived in Thailand and the house was sold. I was, oh no. And I saw another one, a little bit more expensive, and it was sold. I was like, so when he was there, he looked for many houses. He was going to do the video. He has been really helping me and visiting places and all that. But no, nothing was really, speaking to me. And the house in renovation started to be back in my mind. And I was like, and if I take this house? So I contacted my son and I said, do you mind if I take the house by myself? And because we had the plan to take it together. And after I said, no, I don't do this at all. He said, no. And he told me, in fact, it would be even better for you because you will have an asset there. And like this, you can have immediately your permanent resident and your bank account. So this was making sense. I said, okay. So I contacted the contractor. We did a meeting, and I said, engage myself to take the house. And he said, oh, it's great because we just advanced to the point that now you can say what you want inside, you want it. So since maybe 2 weeks, I am in the plan, drawing, changing places, setting things for everything for the house, inside, outside, interior design, colors, everything that I love to do. And sometimes I feel I'm crazy. And in fact, I'm putting all my saving in buying a house at the other side of the world in a place where I never lived, just 3 weeks. And I feel really good. It's like I'm starting again, like from, I'm starting again. Like, and I said that in the first video of 2020, when I started the video live, I said, you know, at 45, I quit everything in France and I started again something new in New York, in this country. And now I feel ready to do it again. I'm able to go in another country and start again. And I was not thinking at that time, 3 years ago, about this, because my son was not even being in Thailand at that time. He'd just been in vacation once, but he had no plan there. He had no business there. So you see how things, you say things sometimes and how they are right, and how times reveals, to a point that now I understand why I take this house. Because my feeling visiting the house was, oh, I feel good here, I love this space. It was already there. My higher self knew, but me, I didn't know. I had to go through all these steps and all these experiences and all this physical situation. It was maturing. This physical situation that I was so down, it was because it was a big transformation inside of me, in my mind, at work. And when it's in your mind and your spirit is working and you change your way, your mindset and your way to see things, your body has to follow as well. And on the top of that, it was all what I've been impacted, even if I'm healthy, even if I've been in this world where now you have more and more trouble with electromagnetism, about nanoparticles of heavy metals everywhere, more and more, especially in the airports, especially in the planes. So having, and this is Natalie who told me what happened. She said, normally we do a long trip, we need at least 3 weeks to recover from it, for our body to release all the toxins of the nanoparticles, to rebalance about the electromagnetism that has been a little bit disturbed by these particles. And the body needs at least 3 weeks to be free of that. But you had 4 trips in 1.5 months. So you were unable, every 3 weeks, you were doing another long trip and you were loading again your body with all these things. So you were unable to recover. And it made so much sense. So it took me quite a while. But now I have even much more energy than before. It's like unbelievable. I'm amazed. I am so passionate about what I'm doing now and the plan and the project we have, because the idea I had, and I said the contractor, my idea is to do a house, to remodel that house, because I saw so many houses there, and I saw after more when I was in touch with the real estate agent and when my son visited the house, they are all the same. They look all the same. The interior design is all the same. The structure are all the same. And renovating this house, remodeling that house at my way, at my taste, in fact, it will be totally different from what is done there. So I said, the contractor, maybe it's an opportunity to do some business with that, to have a kind of model house that we can show, to propose something else to your customers. And so this is the plan. And I'm excited about that because I always loved architecture. I always loved interior design. And this makes sense with, the last cycle of my life, because it's something I can do easily. I know how to do it. I am really good in finding solutions where there are some troubles, because I know that I learned through experiences during my life, 67 years, even very young. I learned how to look at a problem knowing that, in fact, the problem, it's not a problem. It's a kind of catalyst for creativity. And this is something that I really enjoy when there is a challenge, when there is, for example, there is a wall that is not like it should be because, and we cannot change it. So what can we adapt? What can we transform from that wall to make it in balance and to create something beautiful out of that thing that is not in balance? So this is fascinating to me, and I love to do that, and I'm good at that. So I already found many solutions, even for the house of my son, because he had a part of, to remodel in the house, to create a new bathroom and to change some walls and things, and I did, and we found solution. It was really nice because we were with the contractor and my son, and we were turning around and what can we do, and this, or if we do that and that, and this was a solution. But it's because it's a dynamic with other people working on the same thing. It's not only me, it's in the field, we are all connected. And if I'm connected to my son, it's my son, and to this contractor with my spirit and their spirit, and we turn this all around, it's the dynamic, the group dynamic that makes emerge a solution and that someone formulate that. And I love this. I really love this phenomenon. And so I'm excited about that. So for people who said before, you got the virus. Yes, I got the virus of construction. Yes, it's that virus of interior design and of developing, of creating beautiful spaces. I love that. I really love that. And the beauty I project outside, and the home is really the symbol of ourselves. So maybe this gonna resonate with some people. They wonder how it's gonna be because I never did that. I'm quite, I pull myself, I throw myself out of the cliff because it's the unknown in a way. Even if I have visions, I know what I like, I know what I want, but how gonna be the result? I even had very strange inspiration that I never thought before. I said, where is it coming from, for the facade, for that. I said, wow. So, and I like them. And I was, wow, I would never do something like that. And when I draw, I don't draw very well, but when I draw and I put this, in proportion, I say, oh, wow, this is quite nice. So I'm excited about that. So this is what is going on. And when I was in that state of not feeling good, I was not sick. I don't have a virus. I did not have a virus. I was not sick about that. I don't have a sickness. I didn't have any kind of disease or any. See, I was in disease. I was in bad feeling, physically, emotionally, but I was not sick. And this, I think, is very important. It's very important to make the difference, because I can't, because I'm not someone under fears, but imagine someone under fear can think, oh, I have that, or I have that, or I have, like hypochondriac, or I have a cancer, or I have that, I have to go to the doctor, feels, I have to do examination, I did not felt any of this. And also because I was supported at distance by my friend. So it's that we have to have in mind that sometimes, and most often, the sickness we think are sicknesses, the bad feelings, the bad being we feel, it's just because there is a transformation at work at a level that we are unconscious about it. Like, I always have this image of the caterpillar and the butterfly who becomes a butterfly. There are stages. The cycle of caterpillar is ramping on the floor, on the plants, or is ramping. Can he imagine that he will be flying one day? The same creature. And it's the same for us. We are in that state, and it's like after there is a cocoon, how it is there. Everything is disintegrated. It's like becoming like it can be very disorienting and feeling bad and like nauseous and floating and not grasping what it is, what is going on. I wonder if the caterpillar becoming the cocoon that matter, if they wonder what is going on to her, it's like what is this thing? And after that cocoon thing, there is a butterfly. And in fact, maybe in the cocoon it's painful. And I want to see this like that, and I invite you to have, when you don't feel good, to have this in mind. This doesn't mean to don't go and check if you feel to check, by examination and all that, not at all. But when you know yourself, like I know myself, and you trust that, we have to try to remember this beautiful metaphor of the caterpillar becoming a butterfly, because it's like the stage we are going through, it's like the cycles we are going through. And now I'm like, I started, I could not exercise because I was so down. I tried to do yoga, I was miserable, and I was lie down on the back for more than an hour sometimes. I could not. I was really enjoying outside. It was nice. But when I started to feel better, to be able to exercise again. And I realized that since I exercise a little bit more, like each 2 days, yoga and a little bit of weightlifting and my body lifting and things like that, I had less the need to sleep. I sleep less long, and I'm waking up full of energy and ready to start the day. And I also wanted to say that something also happened when I was feeling so down. I started to crave meat a lot, very strongly. And as I don't want to eat any kind of meat, I am following since a long time a ranch in California about bison, and they are on Instagram, and the meat is absolutely excellent. So they deliver, I order bison meat and I eat that, and I must say that I feel really, really good. And now I'm not really in desire of meat. I just want to cook again and to enjoy food again. I was unable to enjoy food. I had absolutely no taste for anything. So physically and emotionally and psychologically, it was like really, really, oh my goodness. So I wanted to share all this with you, and especially for you to have in mind that we are going, all of us, we are on the planet. The planet is transforming, the frequency is raising, and us, we are organic as nature, like I always say. And we are on that planet that is in the process of metamorphosis, that is mutating all the time since the night of age and at time. And we are mutating all the time as human race, and we are mutating. Especially now it's accelerating because the frequency of the planet is raising and faster. So we have to follow, and this affects our bodies, physical bodies. And it's really, really, we have to have this in mind. And the exterior conditions that we live since 3 years, they are in a way helping us. It can seem paradoxal what I'm saying, but they are helping us because they oblige us to take care of us, to observe, to take distance with the events, to really think, to use our spirit, to use our mind, to use our brain, to connect the dots since decades, to see how things are cause and effect since so many years. And how we can navigate in that for the best for us, to still have a happy life, how we can go with that flow without fear, how we can be able to let go everything and start something new, and it doesn't come by itself. It's also the way we live, the way we live our daily lives, the needs we have, the priority we have. And some people are going to say, oh, you are lucky because that. It's not a question of luck. I worked for that since so many years in myself, with myself. And I it didn't come by itself. And it's a kind of question of trust in the divine, and trust in that divine that I am manifesting. It's that we have to have in mind that we are divine creatures, and there in that field there are enormous energies, enormous strength, and when we are connected to that by our way to be connected, to use our brain and to be connected to spirit, we get this energy. It's when I remember this movie. I spoke about that movie a long time ago in my video, when I was starting, like 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago. I was starting to analyze all this, to discover all this field of, psychoanalysis and all that. I saw this movie, and one sentence in this movie really alert me, interpel me. I don't know how you say in English. Really attracted me. It was like a ring in my brain. It's the divine who pushes to analyze, and it's that. So we have, as human divine creature, if we have in mind that we manifest the divine in the physical reality, how can we manifest the divine in that reality in a way that it brings beauty, as nature does, because nature is divine creature as well, and even maybe the divine is just matter itself. Me, I'm mostly, I don't have religion, but I'm mostly, I would say, animist, close to nature, observing nature, feeling part of nature. Last two mornings ago, I wake up at 6, not even 6, and before sunrise, and I open the door, and suddenly it was like I was breathed by the landscape, like aspired, and it's like the landscape was sucking me, and it was like I was expanding, opening my arms and going in it, and it was such a moment of epiphany. I cried. And I had the feeling as well, since I came back and since I recover and I feel much better, that I know that maybe in 1 year I'm going to be away from here. Now I'm enjoying even much more than before my trip here. I am enjoying the beauty of this place even more, because one day I will not see it anymore. That it's been 1 year, or that it be when I'm going to die. So it's like this beauty around of this nature is so powerful and so strong that I want to be totally in tune with that. I feel I'm part of it, and it's really, really wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling. It's really like it's difficult to explain, but it's like that outside, and me, and here me, it's the same thing. And I love that. I become very emotional when I am on that, because it's who we are. And nature, in fact, gives you this feeling even stronger. It's for that when we are in nature, we can really have this epiphany moment, because we are this. We are this nature. We are that. So it's really really powerful. So I wanted to. I've been less emotional than last day in French because it was the first time I was speaking, and I was speaking about my little aunt who passed away on the 8th of May. And I felt, some people told me she gave you energy. Yes, I felt. I felt she was free. I felt she was relieved. And I felt also she could assist me from beyond. And my godmother. and yeah, so it's all about that. It's the end of a cycle inside of me, manifested outside of me by this physical manifestation as well, a transformation, a deep transformation. So I wanted to share this with you, and maybe this, I saw with the video I did in French, it helps a lot of people to relate to that, to see when they are not feeling good differently, that it's not, that it's to have in mind that maybe it shows a big transformation, and it's painful for the body to transform. The spirit goes very fast, but to go down in the flesh, it's longer and it's painful. So, and especially in these times. So voila. So I think I'm gonna start again the lives, video lives, because there are some topics I would love to speak about, because I had requests about that, and also I did not spoke because I had the feeling for 3 years everything has been said about my feeling about the situation in the world and all that. So I was not seeing the point to speak about it. Everything has been said. Now everybody knows what I was, even things I was saying, even at the beginning, and people were saying I was crazy and I was conspirationist and I was that, and I don't care. Because these things for me, they are not new. They are not from 3 years ago. They are from more than 30 years ago. So it's not something that is, it's not a surprise, I would say. So this is one thing. But now there are some, oh, I see the baby squirrel. I have a family of baby squirrels. They are so terrible. And they enjoy, I don't have trash because I give them all the thing leftover of veggies and fruits and all, and they love it. So they are so cute. So, there are some topics I would love to speak about my vision about what is going on right now that is not the same like 3 years ago, and it's a lot to say. And so voila. So if you have, I cannot unfortunately I cannot read all and keep all the comments you are doing here. I don't know why there is not a possibility to keep the comments of people during the the live. I don't know why they have not figured out that. So if you have something that you want to tell me, you are welcome in private message, and I answer to all the messages. So I thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna let you now, and that very soon, and all is good. Bye bye.